Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Virtual Path Day for October 28th. Today, we highlight business, economics, and data analytics, as well as health and health administration. This session will give an overview of URI transfer for health and health administration students, and I'd like to turn it over to Victor Silva from URI.
Hi, Jessica. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, so folks, thank you so much for joining us. I'm very excited to present the options here at the university. I'm going to share my screen, so give me one moment while I pull that up. And I'm going to share the screen. You won't see the presentation just yet, but it should be coming up. And Jessica, let me know if you can give me a thumbs up that you can see it. I'd appreciate it. All right, great. So again, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. You know, being in Rhode Island and you know, probably have obviously you probably have heard about the University of Rhode Island, and now you have that interest. So you're moving through your pathway, and how do we get you here? And what are your options when you actually enroll? So we'll start off with some basic information about the university. And again, I am the transfer counselor, so I'll be the one assisting you through the process when you're actually ready to apply to the university. So at any point, and I'll share some more information too about scheduling one-on-one appointments with me, discussing your path, you know, asking about classes to take potentially. You know, I'm here for you in that regard. So, you know, it's never too early to start making that connection with us. This way, you know, it's just your transition is as smooth as it could possibly be. So our campus facts, located in Southern Rhode Island. If you're familiar with the campus, maybe, you know, some of you folks have actually been on the campus before, which is great. And I think that's a big part of it, being able to kind of see it, feel it, touch it, you know, and, you know, when you're evaluating those options for you in your next step here, you know, because CCRI is your springboard to the next step of your education, you know, where you're really going to feel at home. And I hope that would be, you know, at the University of Rhode Island. So our campus facts here, you know, we're located about 10 to 15 minutes away from the beaches. We were voted as one of the 30 most beautiful coastal college campuses. Driving distance, obviously, to Providence, Newport, Boston, and New York. We do have the train station nearby as well in Kingston. You know, if that were an option and you were on campus and you wanted to get around. We're considered a medium-sized university at close to 15,000 students. You'll see there undergraduate students, and then another 2,000 at the graduate level. So if that's of interest to you too, you know, if your degree within health sciences is lending itself to additional education, you'll probably find those opportunities with us. So it's something you can actually stay on with us for. We are Rhode Island's flagship public research university, and something we're very proud of, that we have all of these resources that we can provide to the students to have practical applications in their field. So research within these health studies programs, being able to network with faculty and also participate in some of their research. So you get that hands-on experience outside of an internship that you might be pursuing at the university as well. So I mentioned in our size, you know, being in Rhode Island and being the flagship university, we obviously have a good amount of Rhode Islanders attending URI. So it's about 53% in-state. We have 47 out-of-state and international students. And out of that, you know, that 47%, we're represented with 48 states in over 76 nations. So it's a very diverse community, which is fantastic, because that kind of boosts your academic experience. And what I mean by that is, you know, if we're all from the same place, we kind of all have the same perspective, because we know what our life is, you know, as we see it on a day-to-day, you know, being Rhode Islanders, right? But when you bring folks from other countries, you might have a student from Indonesia in your class, or a student from California, and you're talking about these different health issues, you know, or, you know, these research topics you might be covering. They bring in different perspectives because they are from different places. They might have experienced it differently, you know, and different things affect different areas of the country and the world. So having that dialogue, you know, being able to share those experiences and kind of expand those conversations that you have to provide additional perspective, which I think is great. 25% of our incoming class identifies as students of color. We have a student to faculty ratio of 16:1. 85% of our faculty have doctoral terminal degrees, which is great, meaning they're experts in their field, right? They've studied as much as they can. They continue on for advanced degrees to become experts. And, you know, and as part of that, participating in research, being published, So this is world-class faculty that you'd have access to. And 76% of our classes have fewer than 30 students. And I think that's great to highlight because I mentioned we had close to 15,000 undergraduate students. I don't want you to feel that you're going to lose that familiarity that you might have and experienced at the Community College of Rhode Island. So you will have most of those smaller classes, which is great, especially when you get into your higher level major related courses. So you maintain that familiarity with your classmates, but also your faculty and your resources. And those resources are advisors assigned to you, similar to what you might have at the Community College of Rhode Island, to assist you with scheduling and other additional opportunities outside of the classroom. How do you build those into your schedule so you have these people that are there to navigate that process with you? I'm with you through the admissions process, but once you enroll, you have additional support, again, academic and then personal. Housing and residential life. So while you might be from Rhode Island, we still have a significant amount of students that are interested in living on campus. And that is something that you can absolutely do as a transfer student and as a Rhode Islander. So you're not limited to commuting. If you didn't want to live on campus, also not required. And we have a good amount of students that live off campus, what we call down the line near the beaches. So in, Wakefield, South Kingstown, Charlestown even. So all those options are available to you as a transfer student. Academics. So we have 8 degree granting colleges with over 90 majors. Specifically, most of the programs that you're probably interested in are within the College of Health Sciences. Some might go into the College of Environment and Life Sciences as well. And we'll talk about those a little bit more specifically at the end. I'm going to pull up some resources from our website. But the reason I bring this up is that you might have a particular interest in, let's say it's biological sciences or human development and family studies, but you also have an interest in history or English or in economics. Most of our majors can actually be turned into a minor. So you can, or even double major, right? So you have that opportunity to build your academic curriculum and your academic resume the way you would like to. So you're not just limited to your specific degree, even as a transfer student, okay? And that's where your advisors will assist you too, to make sure that you're taking the classes that you need to graduate in a timely manner, right, on your path that you would like to, but also filling in those academic interests of yours, because there's academic interests, and then there's also, I would say, extracurricular interests that you would have an opportunity to participate in, and I will talk about those now. So even though you're a transfer student, you still have every opportunity available to you that an incoming student would. So even though you might be transferring with 60 credits or an associate's degree, it doesn't mean you can't intern. It doesn't mean you can't study abroad. And we encourage you to do that. That's a huge part of your experience here on campus. And we want you to have those experiences. So we talked about research already, but our internships, we have over 6,000 students that engage in internships annually, and folks coming on campus to recruit our students to intern. They want URI students. Study abroad, if that was of interest to you, I definitely recommend it. It's a great experience. Kind of kidding aside, I told myself when I was a student, you know what, I'm going to travel the world after I graduate. I'm going to go backpacking, this and that. And, before I know it, I'm 35 with a 3-year-old. And, there's a lot of the world is still left undiscovered for me. So if you can do it within your academic career, definitely recommend it. You'll work with your advisor to make sure that you're leaving the space in your curriculum to be able to take those classes abroad and receive credit for it. Leadership, we have a Center for Leadership Studies. We have a leadership minor. You can participate in the honors program. And I think a big thing is that our students are very successful. 90% of our graduates are employed or enrolled in graduate school within 6 months of graduation. Why do we bring up the graduate portion? Because a lot of times students need to continue on to advanced degrees to go into their fields. So either employed in their field or continuing their education to go on for their employment in the field that they're interested in participating in. School spirit. So we are an NCAA Division I school. We compete in the Atlantic 10 Conference, so very exciting. We always look forward to our basketball games, especially when PC comes into town. We have a healthy rivalry with them, but fantastic program. We have clubs and intramurals if students are interested in participating. Events at the Ryan Center, and one of our biggest is Alumni and Family Weekend, where we get to bring current students, former students, and their families together to show that, URI pride, that Rhody pride, and have different events on campus, you know, for the families and for alumni, including football games and those kinds of things. So there's definitely a school spirit. There's a passion. You'll see it walking around campus. Most students have URI gear on when they're walking through. So to see that is refreshing. You know, everyone is part of the culture and, you know, are excited about being part of this community. Outside of the sports and involvement that way, we do have clubs and organizations on campus as well. So if you are interested in a particular club organization, we offer more than 300. So if you were interested in Amnesty International or band, a jazz ensemble, acting, theater, you name it, it's available. If you can't find it, you can start it. So when you're looking at all of this, you know what, if you have a special interest, if it's service-based, professionally focused, you can work with Student Senate to propose your own club and organization, because if you are interested in it and it isn't available, I'm pretty sure there's probably some like-minded folks out there too that want to have that opportunity. So you can put that out there and have your own club and kind of create your own lasting legacy on campus, which is great. We have different centers on campus too for student support. We have a multicultural student services center, a gender and sexuality center, women's center, our talent development program, and we also have religious life. So those are kind of the things outside of the application process. And, you know, we'll speak a little bit more specifically to the health sciences in a little bit, but in general, we do have some competitive programs and we do have some programs that are restricted to transfer students, and I'll talk about those. But in general, the process doesn't change regardless of your major to apply to the university. So we do have our deadlines. So for folks that are finishing up this fall, our deadline to apply for spring is December 15th. For those that are interested in starting next fall 2021, the deadline is June 1st. So in order to apply, you would complete the transfer common application, which is on our website. I'll show you that. And I'll also add some links that you can download from the chat after the presentation is done. You will have to submit your official high school transcript if you do not have an associate's degree or will not be receiving an associate's degree. You'll need to submit all official college transcripts. So if you didn't go to a few different schools, we'll need all transcripts. If you have an associate's degree, you do not need to submit your high school transcripts. So I know I talked around that quite a bit, but anything less than an associate's degree, high school and college transcripts, an associate's degree or higher, just your college transcript with the common application. And we do have a $65 application fee. Most students are interested in how my credits will transfer, and I'll talk about that too. I'm going to show you some links. And those credit evaluations are performed by the faculty. So students must be accepted first in order to receive a final official credit evaluation. A little bit about financial aid and cost for most of us in here, and you might apply, maybe there's some out-of-state students here taking classes at CCRI, but for the Rhode Island residents, the tuition this year was just over $15,000. The average room and board, again, just over $13,000 with an all-in cost of close to $28,000. If you're not living on campus, obviously you remove the $13,000 from your total, and that's the number you'd be working with. And that's before any need-based financial aid or merit scholarship considerations. So we do offer need-based financial aid through your FAFSA. It would be the same process that you would go through if you've been using it for CCRI. You would just add URI to it, especially if it's going to be for the next academic year. You're applying for next fall, let's say. When you do your new one, make sure URI is on there. Priority deadline for fall is March 1st. We do have an enrollment housing deposit of May 1st, but as I just said, the deposit deadline or the transfer deadline for fall is June 1st. So you do have some additional time there, but we would like to have as many, especially folks admitted prior to submit by May 1st, because it's just going to make your life easier as far as, you know, getting housing organized, if that's going to be, you know, an option for you. It's just, the sooner you know you're ready to commit, the better in the long run. Merit scholarships, we do consider transfer students for merit scholarships, so it's going to be off of your grades at the Community College of Rhode Island. As a general rule of thumb, you need a minimum of 24 credits and a 3.3 GPA. There's no additional essay, there's no additional application for that. When I'm reviewing your file for admission, if accepted, then I look at, you know, your GPA to see if we can award you a merit scholarship. And we also have Phi Theta Kappa scholarship available for transfer students too. So if you're getting those emails, you're doing well, and they want you to join Phi Theta Kappa and you've been invited, I definitely recommend it because it's an opportunity to receive additional financial assistance from the university and scholarship. And then the visit us section. So right from here, you can see that link at the bottom. So I do a few different things. Every Friday, I have a transfer chat for students to come in and just ask questions, just fire them off and, get the questions you need answered and continue on your way. Nothing too formal, so if you have specific questions, I have individual counselor meetings, which I'll share the link for that too. So if you do want to have a one-on-one and really sit down and talk about your path and what you need to do, we do have Ask a Student chats, so just students on there, so you can get a real live perspective of what it's like to be a student on campus. Most of our info sessions are being recorded and posted on our website, so we have our on-demand info sessions. And then we have open houses and accepted student days. So those will be coming up in the spring, but right now, like I said, those individual meetings, the chats, they're all available on our website. You can find it there, but I will put it in our chat for you to access and save, so you have those. So as far as the presentation goes, I'm gonna just back out of there. And Jessica, if you could, can you just give me a thumbs up that you can see my browser here? Perfect, thank you. So a couple things. I want to take you to our general transfer page. So the easiest way to find it, even though I have it bookmarked, is just typing URI transfer admission. The first link that pops up, and the way you know you're in the right place, is that there looks like a faculty and a student in an art class, and it'll say transfer admission at the top. So all of that general information I provided to you is available here. So the deadlines, and then I think one of the most important ones to get this all started, right, is the application. So this link right here where the folks scuba diving will actually take you to the common application so you can begin that process. But then I also think it's helpful here before you apply to see if any programs are actually restricted to transfer students. So our nursing program on campus is restricted to transfer students, so you can't apply for it, unfortunately, unless you have your RN license and went through the nursing program at the Community College of Rhode Island. And we do have some restrictions within the College of Business, but that isn't necessarily appropriate to this presentation. This is where I said you could register for a virtual chat for any folks that are veterans out there, some more information there, and a link to our virtual tour. So our general transfer requirements, I'll go to these first. So generally speaking, if you have less than 24 credits, I told you you need to, or if you have less than an associate's degree, you need to submit your high school transcripts and your college transcripts, but you would need a 2.8 GPA with less than 24 credits. If you have more than 24 credits, but not an associate's degree, you need a 2.5, and you would have to submit your high school transcripts as well. And then if you have an associate's or a bachelor's degree, just need to submit your college transcripts, and you need a minimum of a 2.4 GPA. So that's a general rule of thumb for transfer admission. We're very transparent when it comes to what you need to do to be admitted to the university. Now, when I go back, we do have this competitive program requirements. So within health sciences, and we're thinking of it that way, you can click on the College of Health Sciences to see if there's any restrictions. And to be honest with you, the restrictions or prerequisites that you would find in here really go to kinesiology and nutrition and dietetics. So they do require a higher GPA, some prerequisite coursework, but then again, that's something that we can talk about personally if you want to schedule a one-on-one or visit this yourself to see what you would need to have in advance of transferring. So, and then the other thing I wanted to bring up too is talking about transferable credits. So I mentioned that we only do official credit evaluations for students that have been accepted to university, but you can do an unofficial evaluation for yourself by going through our test system. So what we've done is we have an articulation with the Community College of Rhode Island, meaning we've evaluated all of the classes at CCRI and provided equivalents or no credit equivalents to the classes at URI. So this academics portion of our website, you can access at any point, and I think it's great because you can explore our majors a little bit more, especially within health sciences. So everything's going to come up here. It's listed alphabetically. You can type in search for what you're looking for, but let's just say we are looking at, I scroll, bear with me. let's look at our health studies BS. So, a general program in health studies. So it's going to give you a little bit more information about the program, talk about course schedule, course descriptions, those kinds of things. But I think the part that's helpful there is if we go to course descriptions and you are looking at specific classes and that are part of that particular program. So this HLT, 100G, perspectives on public health, so forth and so on. You could take a look at the curriculum, very much like your course catalog at CCRI or your pathway program, and then check it against this website. So URI TES. So that's our transfer evaluation system. It's just the easiest way to find it if you can remember URI TES. So this is the first link that pops up, University of Rhode Island, TES, Public View Management. You'll click on that, and it's going to take you to this pretty plain page, but it's listed alphabetically. We'll go to C, page 3, because that's where I know it is, for the Community College of Rhode Island. And you're going to see this long list of classes. So you can actually go through your unofficial transcript and start looking at this and say, okay, I know that I know it might not be appropriate for the example, but I took accounting 1010, financial accounting. What does that equal at URI? And you can see if it's in your degree or not and how your credit will kind of line up unofficially for yourself without having a decision in hand. So at least you get an idea of the class that I'm taking. Or if you're thinking about scheduling and there's some wiggle room in your schedule, what should I take? Oh, I looked at the course, the course curriculum. It looks like I could take this specific, microbiology class or this sociology class, and it'll meet a requirement at URI. And that's always something I can assist with too. So what I'm going to do right now, again, bear with me. If everyone should have access to the chat. And I encourage you to take a peek in there because that's where I'm going to put this. I'm going to stop sharing for now, but in the chat, I have these links kind of already set up. Bear with me as I copy them. Copy. Setting those there, so link to the common application, one-on-one appointments, general transfer requirements, and then the additional requirements there. And since I have it up here, I'm just going to throw this one in there too so you can save it. So in the chat, if you're in there, you'll see 3 where you can actually start typing. You'll see everyone, file, and the 3 dots. If you click on the 3 dots, you can actually save the chat. This way you don't have to worry about, oh, I might lose these links. But if you save the chat, you'll have them available to you in the future. All right. So that's my presentation, the information I have for you. I'm happy to take any questions you may have.
And if you have any questions for Victor, you can take yourself off mute and ask, or you can put it in the chat. Also, if you have questions after we're done with our session here today, you have ways to get in touch with admissions, or specifically Victor through the one-on-one appointments link there as well. And if you're watching this in recording, these will be in the description of this video as well.
And let me just put our, one more thing, I'll put our email in there so you have it for the folks that are on live.
All right. Looks like you have already answered all of their questions, given them lots to think about, and also lots of ways to get in touch with you as well, Victor. So with that, I would like to thank everyone for coming with today and being with us during this session. And I'm just waiting for my screen to pop up things now. And I'd like to let you know that in addition to the links from Victor and University of Rhode Island, you can learn more about the academic and career paths at CCRI online at www.ccri.edu/pathways. That's also where you will find links to upcoming virtual path day events and recordings of this session and other past virtual path day sessions. I'd also like to encourage everyone to join us at the virtual job fair, which will be hosted on Handshake for CCRI, and that will be Thursday, November 12th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'd like to thank you, Victor, for being with us today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you to all of our students who joined us, and I'd like to wish everyone a great day.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.